Level 1. The auction block. Your feet are white. They chalked them before they brought you out. That is the Roman signal for fresh import. Newly arrived, not yet broken in. A wooden placard hangs around your neck. It lists your origin, your age, your alleged skills. You cannot read Latin. You do not know what it says about you. You are standing on a rotating stone platform in the middle of the market. Men circle you. They check your teeth. They squeeze your forearms. One of them turns your face toward the light by grabbing your jaw. He lets go without looking at you again. You are not a person in this moment. The Roman law has a word for what you are. Res, a thing. You came from Gaul, or Dacia, or Greece, or somewhere along the African coast. You marched in chains for weeks to get here. Some of the people you marched with did not arrive. A man nods. Coins change hands. Someone grabs your arm and walks you off the platform. You don't know where you're going. You don't ask. Whatever comes next, the platform's behind you. That is the only thing you know for certain. Level 2. The farm gang. You are in a field before the sun is up. Your hands are already on a hoe. This is where most of you end up. The vast agricultural estates outside the city, the latifundia that grow the grain and press the oil that feed Rome. You are one of dozens working this land. Nobody uses your name. Nobody learns it. You move in a line with other slaves, heads down, working toward the far end of the row and then back again. The overseer walks the edge of the field. He carries a wooden rod. You do not make eye contact with him. You learn this on the first day without being told. At night, you return to the ergastulum. It is a stone building, low-ceilinged, sometimes partially underground. Some estates chain the workers at night. The chain is long enough to sleep, not long enough to stand. The man working beside you has been here for 11 years. He doesn't talk much anymore. You watch him move through the rows, steady and blank. And you understand for the first time what 11 more years looks like from the inside. You put your head down. You keep working. Level 3, the mines. This is not a promotion. This is where they send the ones who caused problems, the ones who ran or fought back, or were caught in a rebellion. You are in the silver mines of Hispania, or the gold workings of Dacia, bent double in a tunnel barely wide enough for your shoulders. You hold an oil lamp in your teeth. The tunnel's too narrow to carry it any other way. You swing an iron pick at the rock face. Chips of stone hit your face. You have no free hand to wipe your eyes. The dust gets into your lungs and stays there. Armed guards stand at the entrance above. They are not overseers managing production. Their job is containment. You are not expected to last. The mines are not designed around the assumption that you will survive them. Diodorus Siculus, a Greek historian, wrote that the slaves in these mines long for death as a mercy. He wrote that 2,000 years ago. His words survived. The names of the men he was describing did not. Somewhere above you, Rome is having a dinner party. Silver cups, silver plates, silver everything. You are the reason there is silver. The guest will never think about that. Neither will anyone else. Level 4, the Gladiator. They give you a wooden sword. It is called a rudis, and it is heavier than the real one. That is intentional. You will swing it at a wooden post 10,000 times before they let you touch iron. You are in the ludus, the training school, and the lanista. The man who owns your contract watches every session from the shade. Your diet is controlled, high grain, high fat. Gladiators are called hordearii in Rome, barley men. The fat layer protects against shallow cuts in the arena. They keep you fed, and they keep you strong because a dead gladiator before the games is a financial loss. There is a physician on staff. You have better medical care than most free Romans in this city. You notice the irony and say nothing. Veterans eat first in the mess hall. They choose their sleeping spots. You watch and take what's left. When your first bout comes, the gate opens and 50,000 people make a sound like the world ending. Your body does exactly what it was trained to do. You win. The editor signals, live. You walk back through the gate. Your hands are shaking. You don't let anyone see it. The wooden sword that started all this, the rudis, is also what they give you if they ever set you free. You think about that sometimes. You try not to think about it too often. Level 5, the urban domestic. The house is marble and lamplight. You stand against the wall of the triclinium while the master and his guests eat dinner. You have been standing here for 3 hours. You will stand here for at least one more. This is most of your job. Waiting, watching, being present without existing. You dress the master in the morning. You walk behind his litter through the city. You stand behind his chair at every meal. When a guest snaps his fingers without looking up, you move. You refill the cup. The guest does not look at you then either. You sleep in a cell behind the kitchen. It is smaller than a storage room. You have been in this house for 6 years. In that time, you have learned where the master hides his letters, what his marriage actually looks like, which of his friendships are genuine and which are political. You know every secret in this building. That is precisely why you will never leave. Slaves who know too much are not sold to other households. They are kept. The master trusts you the way a man trusts a wall, because the wall cannot go anywhere and repeat what it absorbed. You are not going anywhere either. Level 6, the skilled specialist. You sit at a desk in the master's private library. Outside this room, a senator's son is waiting for his lesson to begin. You are a grammaticus, a teacher of language and literature, or perhaps you are a physician or an architect, or a secretary who manages correspondence with the speed and precision the master cannot replicate himself. Whatever your skill, it is the reason your conditions are what they are. You are addressed by name. Sometimes, in the middle of a debate about rhetoric or medicine, a free Roman will argue with you as though you are an equal. Then the conversation ends, and you remain where you are, and he goes home to his own house. Your earnings, if you are hired out to other households, go entirely to your master. You see none of it. Every patient you treat, every student you teach, every building you design is his asset. Your reputation builds his name. Your knowledge is his property as surely as your body is. Some specialists accumulate a peculium, a personal fund of savings the master permits you to hold. It is not legally yours. He could take it tomorrow if he chose, but most don't. A skilled, content slave is worth more than a resentful one, and Rome has always understood the economics of everything, including this. Level 7, the Atriensis. You hold the keys. Every room, every storage chest, every supply cabinet in this household, the ring at your hip opens all of it. You are the Atriensis, the head of the urban household, and every other domestic slave in this building answers to you first. You conduct the morning inspection before the master wakes. You assign tasks, check inventories, receive the explanations of those who came up short. A junior slave is telling you why the oil stores are lighter than the ledger says. You already know he's lying. You listen to the end of the explanation and dismiss him. By morning, you'll decide whether to handle it yourself or report it upward. When two slaves have a dispute, they bring it to you. When a dinner party requires coordinating 40 guests, 10 courses, and the labor of a dozen people across 3 days, you are the one who makes it happen invisibly. But when the master walks into a room, you become a slave again. Immediately. Completely. There's no transition. One moment you are the authority in this building. The next, you are standing with your eyes down. The keys on your belt feel different in those moments. Not like symbols of power. Like proof of everything you're responsible for and nothing you're protected from. Level 8, the Villicus. You do not work in the fields. You walk through them. On a Roman latifundium with 100 slaves or more, that distinction is everything. You are the Villicus, the estate manager, and you run this operation in the name of a landowner who visits twice a year. You manage the labor gangs, the planting schedule, the harvest timing, the sale of surplus at market. You review the output of every sub-foreman beneath you. You write it all down in the ledger that the Dominus will review when he arrives. Columella, writing about estate management, described the Villicus as the keystone of the entire agricultural system. He also described in clinical detail the conditions under which a Villicus should punish the slaves beneath him. You have read neither. You learned by watching the man who held this position before you. You have a house on the estate, small, but yours. The master permits you a companion, a woman also enslaved, in an arrangement the Romans call contubernium. It is not a legal marriage. It can be dissolved at any time. You do not think about this every day, only some days. The Dominus arrives and reviews your ledger. There's a surplus. He nods. He calls you indispensable. You tell yourself that word means something and go back to your house in the dark. Level 9, the Dispensator. The seal ring is in your hand. It belongs to your master, but you are the one who uses it. Every financial transaction of any significance, every loan repayment, every contract authorization, every payment to a supplier or creditor goes through you. Senators wait in the outer room for your attention. They are polite to you, carefully, calculatingly polite. You notice, you have always noticed everything. You manage the fortune of one of Rome's wealthiest men. The accounts on this table: grain income from 3 estates, rent from a dozen city properties, interest from loans to men whose names appear in the Senate rolls, add up to a sum that could equip a small army. You review them each morning the way another man might review correspondence. Through the peculium system, you have accumulated savings of your own. Real money, enough perhaps to purchase your freedom when the time comes. Some dispensatories are eventually manumitted, formally freed, elevated to the status of liberatus freedmen. It happens. It may happen to you. Then one evening the master pours you wine with his own hand. He tells you, 22 years of service, and now the document is drawn up and signed, and you are free. He calls it a gift. You hold the cup. The wine is excellent. You help a client select the vineyard it came from. You think about the chalk on your feet on that platform, the placard around your neck. the man who grabbed your jaw and tilted your face toward the light to assess your value. The document in your hand is real. The freedom is real, but your name from this day forward will carry his. That is Roman law. The freed slave takes his former master's family name and appends his own as a second. Even the signature on your liberation belongs to him. This was Rome, the most sophisticated civilization the ancient world produced. It built aqueducts and wrote philosophy and codified law and raised marble that still stands. And under all of it, this is what ran.